Yes, friends, greetings to everyone. We continue where we left off in our sample series. Let's start working on our new example by coming to the calendar section immediately. I add a new calendar here. I close the tutorial video and I'll change my name to the first sample here. We continue with our examples. The work we will do in today's example, many inquiries. We will try to distribute 4 personal 3 shifts on a monthly basis. I clicked on the detail. When I click on the detail, it creates a template for us as an example. He created a template for June. There are 8 personal. There are 2 overtime in it. The list also came to us ready to be distributed, but I'm not going to use them right now. First of all, to make my days understandable, only 4 days from here right now. I've chosen. I'll create a list for 4 days and then we'll be applying it to the whole foot in the coming minutes. I've updated. I've come to my personas. We were going to work on 4 personas, so I've deleted 4 personnel from here. I've updated. We have 4 personnel. We chose 4 days. I came to the shifts. I confused us with the existing shifts. I deleted them immediately. I'm adding shifts. The first shift of the shift is called shift 1. At the end of the job, we will assign 3 shifts. But right now we're going to do some work on 1 shift. This shift is mine. Start at 12 o'clock at midnight. Because we will divide the day into 8 hours, we will plan 3 shifts. I'll have a shift that starts at 0 and lasts 8 hours. I want 1 person to work this shift. I want him to work for 8 hours, and after he works, no other shift will come for 16 hours. I want our staff to rest. I've updated it. I've just come to the distribution section. The distribution section is the critical section for us. I have 4 staff now. When I come to the list section, you can already see that there is 1 user in each of the 4 days for shift 1, waiting for personnel assignment. In the distribution, I have not distributed these 4 shifts to any of my users yet. Each of them is 0. Here immediately, for example, I gave all shifts to staff staff 1 to all shifts. In this case, staff 1 will already be automatically assigned to all shifts. Artificial intelligence cannot assign this anyway. It is assigned here by necessity, because there are 4 assignable shifts. Since we gave all 4 of them to personnel 1, personnel 1 was assigned here. Let's make the number of these 3. Personnel 1 should come 3 times for this shift. Personnel 2 should come once. I haven't given anything about the other 2 personnel yet. I'm updating it. I came to my list. Look, he didn't make a direct appointment this time. Because why? We said staff 1 should come 3 times, but we don't know which 3. Personnel 2 should come for 1, but we don't know which one. That's why we are now leaving this job to artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence will be making the assignment there for us. Yes, we did. We looked right away. Staff 2 is back-to-back in the market. The staff assigned 1 in a row in this way. Now, in our structure, as an example, where we gave 16 hours off after 8 hours. So this means this. If a user comes on the 10th of the month, he can come on the 11th. If he came on the 11th, he can come on the 12th. But here we don't give 16 hours off. I suppose if we take a day off, what will happen then? If the user came on the 10th of the month, he will not be able to come on the 11th because he started at 00. If he worked 8 hours, it was 8 o'clock. If we add 1 more day to it, he comes the next day at 8 o'clock. But if he is not available the next day, he will not be able to come because he is already starting at midnight. So now when we look at our list, let's see that a staff member would have 3 appointments. In this case, will he really be able to fulfill 3 appointments? Of course not. Let's take a look here. Look, 1 day was left empty. The staff member came once. After that, he couldn't be assigned here. Staff 2 was reassigned. Personnel 1 was reassigned, but we were going to make 3 appointments for personnel 1. Here already, see, the staff cannot appoint them directly because there is no number 3 and 4. Because of the time conflict in personnel 2, we have not been able to assign our users today because of the time conflict in personnel 1. Now I have come to the distribution. See, already in the distribution part, I have said that staff 1 should be assigned 3 times, but under the current conditions, only 2 staff can be assigned here. We can easily see this from here. Now let's make this number 2 and make it 1 from here. In this way, let's activate the personnel 3. I came to the list section. I say run artificial intelligence again. We are looking at it now. Yes, we are. Look, staff 1 had 2. The others have 1 each. And staff member 1, see here he was appointed 1 day apart. Now let's consider the scenario where a staff member is on leave on Tuesday. I came to staff preferences. The staff member is assigned here on a Tuesday. The purple circles around this show which days it is assigned to. From here, you can also see which staff are assigned to which days in the calendar by changing the staff. I now have a staff member assigned on a Tuesday. I am going to give a leave of absence to a staff member exactly on Tuesday. I say update. Then I come to my list and I say let the AI assign it. See, now the staff no longer came on a Tuesday. He came on Monday. He came on Wednesday. It did not come here because this staff is already on leave here. Let's push a little artificial intelligence, 11 to 11. And also, let's let him have it. Let's say update. In this case, we have already given the user 2 days off. There are 2 days left. If he is assigned to one of these 2 days, he will not be able to assign to the other as a necessity. Therefore, it will have difficulty in assigning. We came to the list section. We say let artificial intelligence assign. Look here. The user unfortunately left one of our shifts empty because staff 2 had 1 shift here. Staff 3 had 1. They took it. We entered 2 for staff 1. Personnel 1 can no longer be assigned here because of time conflicts. Nowadays, we had given leave to one of the staff members. That's why the calendar could not be completed. I immediately came to the distribution section. Already here, we see the assignment related to personnel 1 again. I say reset the values. Here we have a function called automatic distribution. You also have the opportunity to distribute 1 to each of them in the same way by selecting the personnel who should receive from here and confirming directly, I have updated. I came to my list. I say run artificial intelligence. See, now all our personnel have been assigned. Since the staff was on leave for a day or 2, he could not assign them there. In the staff preferences, you can enter not only leave but also, for example, staff 2. Let it be reluctant at work. Let's assume that between the 10th and 11th of the month, this staff member wants to come to the 12th of the 12th reluctantly and intensely. After that, staff for 3 to be willing for the 10th of the month. Staff 4 should be willing for both the 10th and the 11th. Let's update it like this. Let's run the AI right away. Let's see what kind of assignments it makes. Staff 1, 10, and 11 were already on leave. There were 2 days he could be assigned. It assigned 13 of them. Let's look at staff 2. Staff 2 said he didn't want to for 10, 11. He had expressed a willing preference for 12. He realized what he wanted. He could not assign the days he did not want. I'm looking at staff 3. He expressed a preference for that one. He assigned it on the 10th. Staff 4 was willing for both 10 and 11. In our current scenario, it can be assigned because there is already 1. He also assigned him to a day he was willing. Maybe we can assign this staff member if we did it reluctantly at work, from here to reluctantly. I'll take a picture. After that, update again. Let's say I come to the prompt and run it again from here to the AI. I come to the personnel preferences. See, here are 4 personnel. He's back where he wanted to be. But look, staff 3 is here. So either staff 3 or staff 4. One of them would not have been able to come out of necessity because both of them had to work. They fell into a state of willingness. They requested a bidder. But since only 1 person can be appointed here, the artificial intelligence used this preference in favor of staff 4 in this scenario. Depending on the situation, the staff is used in favor of 3. As the calendar gets more complex as it grows, that preference will now be optimized by artificial intelligence according to the number of people, assignment, and time conflicts. Now here I am saying reset all personnel preferences. Resetting all personnel preferences is not only the personnel selected here, it also resets all preferences of all staff. I have updated. I'm back to my list. Now we did it for 4 days here, but we want to do it for the month. Of course, we usually prepare it monthly. I am in the days section. I have the whole month of June here. I checked it. I updated it. My staff is the same again. I have 4 shifts. I have 1 shift right now. I am adding my other 2 shifts to this shift. Let's change the name here. And let's call it shift 2. Shift 1 started with 000. It lasted 8 hours. Let's change the rest period back to 16 hours. Shift 2 starts at 8 o'clock. It lasts 8 hours and 16. Let's go to shift 3. Shift 3. Started at 8. It lasted 8 hours. It's 16. It started at 16. It lasted 8 hours. I have 3 shifts for every day of the month. We divided the day into 3. We're going to try to distribute these 4 staff on 8-hour shifts. I came to the list. Immediately when we came to the list, look, a moment ago there was only one shift. Now there are 3 columns here for 3 shifts. One user in each of them is waiting for my assignment. While I am here, let me also show you this. For example, if I had requested 2 personnel for shift 1 instead of 1 personnel, immediately my list would be updated as follows. Look, it will try to assign 2 personnel for shift 1. Of course, since this is not possible with my current staff, I will continue again in the section on issues by saying to update it to 1. Now I have 3 shifts during the day. We have 3 shifts that rotate between 0 and 8, between 8 and 16, between 16 and 24 at midnight. There are 4 personnel. Now when we come to the distribution section, as you know, we had just distributed them in 4s, but now the number of people to be appointed has increased to 30. So let's make these appointments to these personnel. You can also assign them one by one. For example, a staff member should not be assigned at all for 1 shift. You can give him 0 and increase the number of other days. But I will distribute this place directly with the auto-distribute function here. I will evaluate it as if all personnel are taking all shifts. But as an example, if you remove one of the personnel from here, if you say approve, for example, personnel will never assign one shift 1, it will be assigning other shifts, but I want every staff member to be assigned everywhere. I clicked here, I said confirm. Our auto-distribute function here is a bit simple. That's why it starts by distributing from the top row. In general, if you have more than 1 shift like this, the personnel in the upper rows are a little more hours. Because look, I distributed 8, 8, 7, 7, dividing the 30 equally. Here, in order to share more hunger, I'm increasing these to 7, I'm increasing these to 8, so that users can work a little bit closer to the staff. 176, 176, 184, 184. My next changes will no longer change a job in general. If I reduce one of the 184 employees and give it to another one, it will still be 184, 176. So when I prepare this calendar for this month, 2 of my staff have to work 8 hours more than the others. I am updating this. To the list, I've arrived. Now it's always already on standby. We are activating our artificial intelligence. It instantly gives us all our personnel assigned 4 staff, 3 shifts. Of course, this is not a sufficient point for us. I'm coming to the staff preference. Usually in this kind of shifts, the staff have time off. I'll assign the staff, I'll give Tuesdays off, or we'll start on Monday. Every Monday the staff should have a full day off on Monday, but you don't necessarily have to give it on Monday. You can distribute it like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. One of the details you need to pay attention to here is just if you give leave to each of the personnel, that is more than 1 personnel on the same day, there may be days that you cannot assign because of the number of people. We have 3 shifts. We need to have at least 3 people because the personnel who come to 1 shift during the day will not be able to come to the other shifts anyway. I give the personnel 2 on Tuesdays. It would be more humane to make these leaves fixed with the friends who are already preparing this list. That is, if they can take into account the preferences of the personnel and give them the days off they want. We will have prepared a shift plan with a work roster. I have given 4 staff members 1 day off each Monday, Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Wednesday, Thursday per month. You can also make an option like this, especially, for example, I am talking for staff 4, for example. You also have the chance to give a leave for the 7th of the month, just not to come to shift 3. For now, I'll cancel it like this. I'm updating it now. Now let's see what kind of result will be waiting for us with these 4 people in 3 shifts, each with 1 day off. Thanks to artificial intelligence, the results came out quickly. It is useful to follow the personnel preferences. Take a look at the personnel here. None of the shifts were assigned on Monday. There are other days when he was assigned. We are looking at personnel 2 here. He was not assigned on his days off. Personnel 3 is not assigned anyway. Personnel 4 is not assigned. If you have already entered on leave and you see that all appointments have been made above in this list, you know that all the rules you have given have been fulfilled. Now I would like to do some more fancy experiments on this. I am assigning. Be willing. Instead of doing it like this, I say reset it from here. Now for example, look, the preferences apply to all issues. If I click on 6 here, shift 1 is willing for the same 6, shift 2 is willing for shift 2, shift 3 is willing for shift 3. But there is no possibility of being assigned with all 3. He can assign one of them for all 6. So instead of using it this way, it is not all preferences. I say 1 shift should be applied, here for shift 1. Come in, make a request here. If you want, you can also specify requests for different days here. And while we're at it, let's put them here. Let's specify 4 requests each. We have already specified 5 here. Let's not specify 5 again. Let's give it to the 11th here. We have set 4 here, and here, on the 1st of the month, the user requested it. I am currently doing it for staff 1. You can choose the days you want for the user, not only willingly, but also unwillingly, in cases where this is willing for all staff. I said update. Now I will run artificial intelligence again in the list section, because any change can affect everything, so the list is reset again. Artificial intelligence assigned again. Now I'm looking at what happened in the personnel unit. The personnel unit made a request on the 6th, he came there. On the 19th, we placed the requester. Look, even though he requested on the 14th and 28th, we could not assign this personnel to those days. After that, we were able to place this personnel on all the days he requested in shift 2. In shift 3, we were able to place them on 3 of the 4 days they requested. We could not place him on one of them. This is willing, neutral, and unwilling, especially the willing and unwilling parts. By the way, look, shift 2 and shift 1 indicated the days when they were reluctant. We couldn't get rid of those days either. If it's possible. If it will not prevent the calendar from being formed, it assigns those days as much as possible, taking into account the preferences of these users. But what you give here does not necessarily mean that it will be assigned on that day. Oh, for example, there is a situation like this. Personnel, in 2, let's do something like this. Let's say staff 2. Let's say for sure. On the 1st of the month, shift 1 to shift 1, the first morning staff 2 should come for sure. I don't want to have how many of them, for example, in the user. I am updating this. Let's even do something like this. For shift 1 and shift 2, I want both of them to come for sure. Normally, this user can come to one shift for the same day, according to the rules we have entered, but I want them to come to both for sure. With an option that says, I've checked it, I'm updating it. I came to the list. He assigned us to one of them because they were already certain, the other one didn't. I'm asking the AI to do it. You have a calendar. Now I'm back to the personnel preferences here. Let's look at personnel 2. Look, I told you to make sure this one comes to both of them. Are definite appointments. There is already an explanation there. If there is no time conflict, and if such a thing is possible, appoints the final appointments. Now, since we have chosen 2 of them, neither of them is possible. Therefore, artificial intelligence automatically organized one of the 2. It solved the process. But here we also have a situation called no rules. You know, it is useful to use it in moments when you have to. Look, just a moment ago, I told a shift that the user should definitely come to both, but I assigned it to only one of them. But without rules, I assigned it to the 1st of the month. If I say both shift 1 and shift 2 names should come, when I say update, and I'm running the AI behind it, now, see shift 1, shift 2, for the first day of the month, for the 1st of the month, staff were assigned 2 back-to-back. Normally, according to the shift template we normally give such a thing, in such a rule, it actually violates a rule here. But since we give it to personnel preferences, that is, without a rule, for personnel 2, this has now been assigned to these 2 days for sure. It works on such a wide spectrum without rules that, for example, if I give it like this, you have the possibility to assign shifts to the user 24 hours a day. I am running the artificial intelligence ancestor again. Look, here on Saturday, the staff has to work here for 24 hours, so be as careful as possible when using this rule list. It does not recognize any rules. It throws all kinds of things there, but if you say for sure, if it is possible and there are no time conflicts at work, makes it possible to assign it there. Now I deactivate the following that I entered here for personnel 2. I am updating again. Let's check. For staff 1, we've authorized Mondays off, staff 2 on Tuesdays, staff 3 on Wednesday, staff 4 on Thursday. You don't necessarily have to give them today. Like I said, I'm back on my list. I'm restarting the AI. Yes, it's me. For the month of June, I quickly prepared a shift system for 4 staff, 3 shifts, 1 day off a week. Since we went a little educational, it took a little time if you want, but you can create them much faster when doing it yourself. I click on download, either Excel or PDF format. I chose PDF. I downloaded it, and from here I got my calendar as a PDF. You can see which personnel are assigned which shifts and how many working hours they have in total.